Okay. And so that's the recording right there. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you and love you and respect you. This is Will Zanders, your resident diamond ambassador with the Green Organics family of companies. If you have any questions at all, put them in a chat. We have a ton of top earners, six-figure earners, and a couple seven-figure earners in the industry on the call, and they can answer your questions in the chat. Now, as you've noticed, we've really been piggybacking off of something that Coach Marcus affectionately refers to as the franchise factor. And I'm going to explain to you very briefly why that is important, because what is repeated is remembered, and what is remembered is repeated. And there is no way for you to really appreciate this next piece of information we're doing tonight. We're going to be covering more pieces of the puzzle. People seem to be enjoying that. So we're going to continue that series, but I have to preface it with this for all these new people who may be on the recording. Okay. According to insurance company statistics, what percentage of people are going to die broke? Put it in the chat. Let me see who's been paying attention. What percentage of people will die broke according to insurance company statistics that have been being kept since before we were even born? You are correct. 70% of people. I have researched these numbers ad nauseum, and it excites me to see so many people understand the industry and the way that we're presenting it. If you understand this information, ladies and gentlemen, you should be teaching this information. Keep that in mind as you watch this recording. Now, since 70% of the people are going to die broke, we understand this. Laurie, guess what? We can do nothing about it. Sharon, I hate to say it. I know you have a heart for people, just like Rick Burnett, but guess what? We can't save everybody. Okay? Jesus even said in his word, he said, the poor will always be among you. All right? So some people we just can't save. Now, these 70%ers, they're good people, but I'm going to tell you the mentality that you're going to run into with these individuals in your team, in your family, and even not on your team. You'll recognize these people a mile away, okay? They are non-learners, which means they don't like books, they don't like learning, and they think they know everything about everything. It is what it is, okay? These are the same people who feel like it is going to be some type of shiny object that makes them rich. They feel like it's going to be no action necessary, no work. They feel like lottery ticket mentality when they join network marketing companies. They feel like it's get rich quick. These are the people who always fall for the get rich quick scheme. They always fall for that thing like the flower thing that people play where you send me $500 and in 3 weeks you'll get back $2,500. It's the type of weird little scams that come up every couple years. They fall for stuff like that all the time because they're not realizing that success is an inside job. Okay, Ponzi schemes. Yeah, they always fall for that stuff. That's the 70%ers. They don't want to do any work. The best you can do for them is get them a book, a tape, a YouTube video like The Strangest Secret, okay, by Earl Nightingale. Yeah, when he said her son got caught up in that stuff, we've seen it. Yeah, see, somebody else on iPhone said they bought into that. Yeah, those are scams. But even good people do fall for that stuff. But 70% of people go into this category right here, and they are not going to do the deal in this business no matter what. And I'm sorry. And a lot of you don't realize that 70% of your team is in that category of people. Oh, William, good to see you. William, what's up, brother? So 70% of your team is in that category. And one of your problems is, listen closely, one of your problems is you've been spending too much time with the wrong people. Some of you who are at the leadership levels or ongoing to leadership level, I remember talking about this with Mr. Seymour Greenbridge Blake out of Texas. Seymour had a revelation maybe a couple of months back, and he was like, you know what, Will, I think I just been spending too much time with the knuckleheads, man. And I was like, you're probably right, brother. And the second he stopped that, boom, he went from 25,000 to 50,000 in a couple of months. He'll be over 100,000 this year. And one of the only things he did different was stop spending time with the people that we knew just weren't going to do it, because those are 70%ers, and that's okay. All right. The next category of individual that we have 30% left, and that is going to be divided into two categories. 3%ers is the next category. I know some of you have heard this before, but I need you to understand it at a depth of knowledge where you can teach it and teach people how to teach it, because this is why people are failing in the industry, is the lack of understanding this foundational concept. 70%ers ain't going to do it. The 3%ers are going to do it but they're going to do it their own way, with or without you. Get out of my way, eat my smoke, eat my dust. I'm going to the top. They're bullying the China shop. And no matter how you try to coach them or teach them, they're never going to listen. They're going to do it their own way. And that's okay. The problem with 3%ers is they never slow down enough to understand that everybody's not like them. And a 3%er, if I were to describe them, let me give you some names of a couple of 3%ers. Michael Jordan, Elvis Presley, Prince, Michael Jackson, okay? None of these people are duplicatable. There's only one Michael Jackson. There's only one Elvis Presley. I know the new kids like they like Justin Bieber and these other, Drake and these guys have sold a lot of records. Ain't but one Elvis. I've been to Graceland. Ain't but one Elvis. Ain't but one Michael Jackson. You ain't but one Prince Rogers Nelson out of Minnesota. Ain't but one of them. Okay, it's what it is. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. The problem with 3%ers in network marketing is they're responsible for doing most of the training and writing most of the training materials. The problem with that is the only people who can do that are 3%ers. And that's what typically happens in network marketing. Tell me if this sounds familiar. Let's say that Lori Dooley out of California, let's say Lori is a 3%er. 3%ers are always top earners at no matter what company they go to, no matter what. Okay, they're always at least $10,000 a month. They go to a company, they start to teach the way they do things. They get a lot of signups, but they're 3%ers. They're tall, they're good looking, they're charismatic, they're all of that, and a bag of chips, and they know it. They tell other people to do what they did. So somebody like me, I was a broke, retired, divorced cop from Louisiana. I go to Lori Dooley. Lori's a rock star, West Coast rock star, Hollywood, right? I go to Lori, she's in Coach Stu's team, another one of these top earner guru, coaches. They look good, they smell good, everything, right? And I say, hey, what do I do? And they say, oh, just go sign some people up. It's easy. Just go talk to people. And I go, okay. I go talk to people, and because I don't have the level of credibility that Lori and Stu have, I don't have the credibility. I'm not cool like Rick Burnett. I don't ride BMW motorcycles cross country. I'm not cool like that. I'm a regular person who may not have the stories and depth and success of a Marcus Jones. So when I try to do what a 3%er does, I'm going to get my face ripped off. My friends and family are going to tell me things that they would never tell a Rick Burnett. They would never tell Coach Marcus Jones. They would never tell somebody that successful, okay? They wouldn't talk to them that way. But they would talk to me that way because I'm not a 3%er. So I'm going to fail. I'm going to think the industry doesn't work, okay? So that's how that would go, hypothetically speaking. Now, once I had some success in this industry, I became a 3%er, and I learned these things that I'm telling you about right now, and I immediately, in order to be successful, had to shift myself to the third category, okay? Because if 3%ers are doing all of the coaching and teaching, and they're not teaching anything that's duplicatable, all right? They're teaching using non-transferable skills like charisma and a great smile. That's not transferable. So it's not duplicatable. So they're going to do well. Their teams will not do well. And when their teams don't do well, there's no residual income. And then the 3%er blames the company because they're not learners either. They share that in common with the 70%ers. The 3%ers they think they know everything. So they're going to act the same way the 70%ers would. They're going to blame the company. They're going to blame the upline. They're going to blame the product. They're going to blame they're going to blame everything. And then the 3%ers are going to go to another company, sponsor a bunch of people, bring as many people as they can from the other company, get zero duplication, make $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, and then the cycle repeats. Put a 1 in the chat if it makes sense that 3%ers use non-duplicatable building methods. That happens to so many people around this industry, but not here. Why? Because we understand that there's a third category of people. This is the most important category, and this is the only category of people you need to be focusing on. It's the 27 percenters. That's where the money is. The 27% of the team that is left, let me tell you, they're hard workers. They're good salt to the earth people. They're going to do their job if you do your job. If you give them some actual tasks of what to say and what to do and what books to read, they're going to actually do it. If you say hop on a Zoom, they'll be on a Zoom. If you say come to an event, they're going to figure it out and come to the event. And those are going to it'll take them a little time. They're not going to make the fast money like the 3 percenters would. But long term, the 27 percenters are going to make far more money, and they're going to be at the same company for a long time, so they get to build up to the millions. You're taking from $1 million earner at one company, and if I add up everything else, more millions from other companies. But HBN and Golden Sun right here, that's the first single company I ever made $1 million at. I would go to companies and make a couple $100,000, and then I would suffer from 3 percenter syndrome. And it wasn't until I learned and understood that I was the problem. You talented people, y'all on there who got y'all leaderboard people who are really good, y'all are the problem. We are the problem. I'm telling you, we're the problem. If you're a leaderboard person, which is great, you need to, I was too. You have to shift your mindset from 3% to 27% mentality. And the 27% mindset is this. You need, never forget this statement. Coach Marcus calls it the franchise factor, and I love it. He teaches it every Saturday morning. Y'all should probably be there, okay? The 27% mindset is unified, duplicatable training systems. That's what 27 percenters have to have. We nickname it the franchise factor. It's the reason why a multi-billion company like McDonald's, a company with darn near $1 trillion market cap, or market valuation, it's why a company like McDonald's can be so successful, which it is, with the subpar product, garbage pay plan, and it's run by teenagers. But yet McDonald's will run circles around every other restaurant in the history of the world other than Jesus when he had the loaves and the fish on the mount. Other than that, there is no restaurant that could ever hold a candle to McDonald's. Why? McDonald's has embraced subpar products that are trash, pay plan, which is less than minimum wage. It's run by teenagers. And yet McDonald's is a more successful. When last time you heard McDonald's stock crashing or something like that? Because they have the franchise factor, which means if we are on the same page and we're going to do the same thing, we're going to win. You're going to win big. We'll get this company to $1 billion if we just keep the people that's on this call on the same page. I kid you not. And that's the truth. I have no doubt in my mind. And $1 billion for a company is somewhere between 2, 3, 4, 500 millionaires. Y'all got a lot. Everybody on this call could be a multi-millionaire if we all stayed on the same page, because the company splits the money 50-50. So if this company does $1 billion, that's 500 million for the field, for us, and 500 million to the company. If you want those type of numbers, you're not going to get them without a franchise factor. You're not going to get it unless you're on the same page. And that's why these Zooms and Facebook Lives and these recordings are so important. I can't emphasize it enough. Put a 1 in the chat if it makes sense that we should cater our unified, duplicatable training systems to the 27 percenters. And if you are a 70 percenter and you know you're lazy and you know you don't read books and you know, listen, you need to start watching personal development videos, get your ego out of it, get into the 27% category by making a decision to say, I will not be one of the people who dies broke. I'm not going to be one of these 70 percenters that these insurance companies are talking about. I will not die in debt and broke, leaving behind debt to my family. That will not be me. And if you make that decision, you're automatically almost there. Okay, you're right there. Now you got to put some work behind that decision. And for all my 3 percenters, my Melvin Shaws and my Colonel Lotus Browns and my Sidney Brown, look, all of these rock stars, y'all better come on over here to 27% land. You better come on over here to 27% land, and let's do some stuff that we can keep the same for everybody And that way, everybody's going to be a lot more successful. Okay. So that being said, thank y'all for that precursor. Learn those concepts, teach those concepts, educate the masses so that people stop making these same silly mistakes, jumping from company to company to company, because the money's drying up. The money dries up and there's no residual income where there's no duplication and no education. Your residual income is in those two places, okay? Activation, you got to get started, okay? Education and duplication. That is where your residual income is. When you educate people on products, they use the products more and they run out. When you learn how to use Glorious, you run out every 3 to 4 weeks. When you learn how to use Prosperity Essential Oil or Sweet Marjoram, you run out. If you get educated, on Eucalyptus globulus, you will understand why and how it's so special and why and how you should use it, especially during the winter month when respiratory stuff is out. You need to be putting this stuff over your lungs every day when you leave the house, especially coming into the end of the winter, coming into spring. You have to, okay? When you use these products and educate people how to use these products, the products run out and people buy them again because they love the results. So for people who are on the recording, check out the chat, okay? If you've gotten off more than one or more prescription drugs, please put in the chat how many prescription drugs you are no longer on because of these products. I'm not making a medical claim. I'm not making an income claim. I'm just asking people's true stories. Okay, right there. Now look at the chat. You ain't gotta take my word for it. You can look at the chat. Okay? You can look at the chat. Look at these numbers. Lillian Corville got off 75 prescription drugs. Seymour Greenridge Blake got off 39 prescription drugs. Wendy Atkinson got off 17 prescription drugs. Coach Sonic Jones got off 30 prescription drugs. And other people are getting off 15, they're getting off 2, they're getting off 3. That is better health, and that's more money in your pocket that you don't have to pay, and it's less side effects, okay? When you educate people about these type of testimonials, we had a young lady who was on dialysis, and I saw the testimonial from Alyssa's group, and my father has the same testimonial, by the way. These are not medical claims. We're not claiming that the products can treat, cure, or prevent any disease. We're giving you true stories from our customers who know it, right? Coach Marcus says, emotionally impactful experiences. A young lady was on dialysis for years, okay? It's only 1% of people that actually get a chance to get off dialysis. You're only on dialysis until you die. It's what it is. Only 1%. I've done my research. My father and this young lady are no longer on dialysis anymore. They're not in the same team, obviously. I've never met her personally, but I know her sponsor. I know my father personally. And they're not on dialysis anymore. That is a 1% likelihood. The doctors are flabbergasted. They're floored. And what product was that? That was black seed oil. That's black seed oil. You can pick it up at Golden Sound right now. Black seed oil. Everybody should be taking this stuff regardless of how healthy you feel. Everybody should be on black seed. I just have no doubt, all right? Let's get back into the training. Now, we've been looking at the last couple of weeks, we've been looking at network marketing from a 30,000-foot overview, and I want you to imagine it as a success puzzle. And when you look at people like Coach Kim and Coach Marcus, who made millions in the industries and over $750,000 a piece with Green Organics companies, I want you to really understand you're looking at the end result of the process that we're bringing you through. Okay, between the three of us, we've made over $3 million. It's very exciting. Okay, there's 3 people, over $3 million. Everybody can get $1 million here. Everybody can do it. All right. Now, I want you to understand the puzzle. We'll just call it 100 pieces. And I think we've made it up to piece 45 or 46. We're going to make it up to piece 50 today. Okay, we're going to make it up to piece 50. And we have all of the in-depth training on all of those pieces of the puzzle. If you learn these pieces and put the puzzle together, you're going to be successful. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it, okay? So a quick review of what we've already covered, all right? The first 4 pieces of the puzzle were the core 4. That was skill sets, mindsets, action, and time, okay? And this is all on the previous recordings as well in the groups. You could write it down or not. For new people, I'm giving you the whole overview, okay? Puzzle pieces number 5 through 24 were your top 20 reasons why. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, all 20 need to be your goals, your reasons why you want to be successful. Until you know why, the how doesn't matter. Okay, so reasons 5 through 24 are the next puzzle pieces you needed, and you need to be filling these out in order. And if you have any questions about these, put them in the chat, and after the recording, or write them down, and at the end, we'll stop the recording and we'll answer your questions for you in the chat. So if you have a question about any one of these puzzle pieces and putting together the success puzzle for your green organics business, write down the question and we'll put it in the chat at the end of the call after the recording so we can get everybody here on time, okay? Puzzle pieces number 25 through 30 are going to be called the 6 classifications. All right, the 6 classifications, and those are resources, systems, the marketing plan, products, skills, and mindsets. And yes, you see things like skill sets and mindsets repeated. You're going to see products repeated. What is repeated is remembered, and what is remembered is repeated. Some things are so important, they're so nice, you'll see it twice, okay? And there will be a quiz, all right? Under number 25, which is resources, let me very quickly give you a new book. I don't know if most of y'all have this one. You might or you might not. It is called The 45-Second Presentation, and it's by a gentleman named Don Failla. Don, D-O-N. Last name is F-A-I-L-A. I was talking with Miss Jamara Cheek out of Minnesota. I recommend the book to her. It's one of the ones we cover in our new member orientation. There is no audiobook. There are YouTube videos about it, which is great. There's nothing better than the actual book. It's I have it. I have several copies on my bookshelf right here. It's about this thin. It's about that thin. It's a short book, but I highly recommend you get it. It will change your paradigm and help you give a pretty good presentation too. It'll help you a lot. Okay, so that's one of the resources I wanted to add there. Now, resources is number 25. We talked about that. Systems is number 26. Number 27 is marketing plan. 28 is products. 29 is skills, and 30 is mindsets. Regis is asking about diabetes. Yep, black seed oil twice a day, and don't eat any sugar if possible. And Diet Coke and stuff like that still counts as sugar. Don't fall for it. All right. Next up, the next pieces are going to be 31, 32, 33, 34. And those are going to be the color personality types. Those are covered in a book called The 4 Color Languages. But if you recall, the 4 color personality types are red, blue, yellow, and green. So red was puzzle piece number 31. Blue was puzzle piece number 32. Yellow was puzzle piece number 33. And green was puzzle piece number 34. These are the dominant personality traits that you will find in people in your personal life, at work, in your business and team, and yourself. Okay, and yourself. The red people are going to be motivated by money and winning and trophies and recognition. You can see them coming a mile away. It's a lot of 3%ers over there. The blue personality type is going to be really motivated by fun and travel, excitement, music, and they like to party, like to talk. They're going to be your best natural born presenters. Okay. The 37 is going to be the yellow personality types. They more so have a heart for people. They like money, and that's cool. They like vacations, like the blue people. That's cool. But the yellow people would rather be donating their time on the weekends to the homeless shelter. Okay. And then which is fine. And then number 38 is going to be the green personality types. The green personality types are going to be people who love information. They love data. They love to read books. They love to watch videos. They'll build the business when they're ready, okay? So that is going to be 31, 32, 33, and 34. I apologize. I was off on my numbers there. So 31 was red, 32 was blue, 33 was yellow, and 34 was green. Thank you, Wendy. Okay, now we move on to puzzle pieces 35 through 38 very quickly. These puzzle pieces, 35, 36, 37, 38, are taught in 4, just like the previous ones, okay? So if you're teaching this to your team, after you've made your first couple $1,000s, by the way, you need to be learning this stuff first, doing it second, and then teaching. Do not try to teach too early. You try to teach too early without doing, you're not going to have any authority in your teaching. You're not going to have the energy, the vibration, the frequency, the spiritual element of authority and leadership because you've never done it. And there are too many people out teaching stuff that they've never done. They're calling plays that they never ran. They're coaching sports that they never played. It's a bad deal. So you want to learn this stuff first. Do it. You don't need to be teaching this stuff till at least $1,000, $2,500, $5,000. Then start teaching your people how to duplicate this particular depth of training, okay? If you're not at 2,500 yet and stuff like that, you're not at $5,000, you need to be sticking to 2 pieces of training, the new member orientation and the launch. You need to be sticking to those 2 systems in the beginning, the new member orientation and the launch, and that'll get you to $2,500. That'll get you to $5,000. Then you can start teaching some of this other stuff, okay? If you're not there yet, it's okay. Leave it to us, leave it to the pros until you're ready, all right? Now, 35 to 38 are how we learn. So 35 is going to be 2 words, unconscious incompetence. Thank you, Eve. I will see y'all in a couple of weeks in Trinidad and Tobago. We'll be there. Good time there. Okay? So unconscious incompetence means you don't know what you don't know. You join network marketing, you think you know everything, you know nothing, and you will suffer miserably until you get educated. All right? You got to learn this game. All right? All right? The next one is going to be, number 36, is conscious incompetence. It's a great place to be. It means that I know I'm not very good at this, but the fact that I know that means I'm going to take my education seriously, or I'm going to quit because I get frustrated. So either way, it's your call when you get to that point. Conscious incompetence. I am conscious of how good I not am. I am conscious of how little I know. Number 37 is the path of what the way the human brain learns. Is called conscious competence. Ladies and gentlemen, this is when you start putting your reps in. This is when you start listening to the same book over and over and over again. This is when you start using the same script in Facebook Messenger over and over and over again. This is when you start doing the marketing plan and drawing it out on paper for your friends and family and coworkers and strangers. You just start drawing that plan out over and over and over again. You get to the point of conscious competence. Yep, writing notes over and over again. Conscious competence is when you hear things like, I really want to join the business, but I don't have the money. And you hear that objection so many times, you learn what to say, and then it rolls off your tongue. All right? You know exactly what to say if someone says I don't have the money. You know exactly what to say if someone says I don't have the time. How do you learn? How do you get to that 4th level, which is puzzle piece number 38, which is unconscious competence? The same way you learned how to drive a car. When you first started learning how to drive a car, you didn't know a clutch from a pedal from a brake. You were at unconscious incompetence. As you learned the basics and even how to start the car the first time, especially for a clutch or a truck or a motorcycle, you got to the level of conscious incompetence very quickly, and you learned it was not anything like you saw on TV. And then you get to level 3, which is puzzle piece 37, conscious competence, and that's when you drive in the car every single day. You start that car 2 or 3 times a day. You slip that clutch and get in the drive 2, 3, 4 times a day. The car tunking and it dies on you. You got to do it again and try to get the balance right of the clutch and the pedal, or automatics nowadays. You got to really get a feel for that. And if you do that over and over and over again for days and 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 months and months and months and years, you become so good at being unconsciously competent, which means it is on autopilot, that you could drive a car, eat a cheeseburger, text message, don't do that, but you could do all of that at the same time and still drive safer than a 16-year-old driving for the first time who has all of their focus on driving. Give me Rick Burnett behind the wheel of a car, eating a cheeseburger, texting with one eye open, driving over a 16-year-old who's fully focused on driving any day. Because I know that when someone is unconscious and incompetent, we're not supposed to be texting or driving or window down, blaring music, showing off, doing donuts in the parking lot. But guess what? We could. And we'll be safer than a distracted driver who's unconsciously incompetent is a safer driver than a fully focused 16-year-old who's driving for the first time and who's fully focused on being a safe driver. Give me the experience over the youth any day in any category that matters in life. Now, the stuff that don't matter, like who's better at this video game, I don't know, probably my niece, but that's irrelevant. But as far as making money, driving cars, and building businesses, experience will trump youth 99.99% of the time, all right? Fact. Because at our age, we are unconsciously competent. And you will be that way in network marketing, but you have to learn the business, listen to the DVDs, listen to the CDs, read the books over and over and over again until it saturates your mind and becomes autopilot. It's like that with anything from shooting a gun to changing a diaper. Repetition deepens the learning. Repetition is everything when it comes down to learning, okay? So that's number 38. And remember, if you have questions about any puzzle piece, 1 through 38, write it down. We'll finish the recording and we'll answer questions after, all right? Puzzle piece number 39, we call it the lost secret of network marketing. Thank you, Rasan. That is to teach people, to teach people, to teach people is one of the secrets of your success. You cannot just learn this stuff. You have to do it and make the money. Then after you do it, you have to teach it. But you can't just teach it, Sharon. You can't just teach it, okay? Miriam, you can't just teach it. You have to teach people to teach people to teach it. That is where the duplication comes from, is from education of that level, okay? That's just 100%. There ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it, okay? Denise has to teach William, okay? And William has to teach Leslie. That is how it has to go. Like some people are very talented, okay? I'm gonna just mess with Derek right now. Derek Jamat, Derek with a Y. Derek's out of Trinidad, he's out of Barbados. Derek's amazing. He's an amazing guy. Derek sponsored, it was probably like 20 people in a day. It was something ridiculous. I've never seen nothing like it, by the way. Derek and Marcellus Mack, and I think Tina Heuerman are probably the 3 people I've seen sponsor people at a level that is just, it's freakishly weird. It's like sometimes God just has an anointing on. It's like, y'all ever see Randy Moss play football? You ever seen Randy Moss when he was at the Vikings? It was just a weird thing to watch somebody get 3 catches and all of them are touchdowns and it's not even close. Derek and some other people on our team are like that. Here's the thing. When they sponsor people, they can't just keep sponsoring people. They could do it forever. I can't. They're good at it. They could. They have to slow down and teach the first 4, 5, or 6 people they sponsored. They got to teach them first. Then you can go back to sponsoring. So when you first start, 100% of your time should be spent on recruiting and retailing, getting customers and getting distributors. And that is taught step by step in our new member orientation. We teach that on Saturdays. So don't think you don't know how to do it. We teach it on the weekends, okay? Everything is the same class. Every weekend, we just keep doing the same class because what is repeated is remembered and what is remembered is repeated, period, okay? And shout out to Walter Brady too. I see Walter's on here. Walter down in Florida. Good deal, my guy. Now, once they teach people, and when you sponsor your first 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people, spend 80% of your time teaching them and 20% of your time recruiting and retailing. So remember, it went from 100% recruiting and retailing because you can't teach nobody if you don't have anybody to teach. So you're spending 100% of your time doing that. And that's in addition to your learning time, by the way. So if you sponsor your first 4, 5, 6 people, do not spend 100% of your time recruiting and retailing anymore. Spend 20% of your time recruiting and retailing. Spend 80% of your time teaching your people how to do the basics and how to be great. Because if you don't, the only people that are going to win is the 3%ers. That's the only people who can survive in this industry without you coaching them and teaching them. I'm sorry. And I don't know your people, or else I would train everybody, but I can't. So you have to teach your people these basics that we teach you, the new member orientation, how to launch your network marketing business in 4 to 7 days, how to put orders into the system, how to use the customer service chat. You have to teach this to your team and teach them to teach it the same way you taught your children how to tie shoes. And for the grandparents out there, you don't have to teach your grandchildren how to tie shoes because your children taught them. because you taught your children and you taught them how to teach. It's the same principle in network marketing, period. There is no other way to create duplication. Good luck with it if you think there's another way to do it by being a sponsor monster and not teaching your people, okay? I wish I had known this earlier in my career. I wish I had known that. So that's number 39. Puzzle piece number 40, and then we'll dive right in and we'll wrap up with 50. Can somebody give me a time check? Let me know what time it is, Central Standard Time in the chat. Puzzle piece number 40 is the law of averages. Thank you. Yep, we're going to run a little long on this one. I hope y'all okay with that. You need this information. We're probably going to run till about 9:15. I'm sorry about that, but you need this information, and it will be recorded in case you have to hop off. Understanding the law of averages is understanding that everybody has a number. And if you talk to a certain amount of people, eventually you will have everything on your 20 reasons why list fulfilled. Your 20 reasons why need to be written down on paper. They need to be on a vision board. They need to be the screensaver on your phone. You need to be seeing at least 4 of your top 20 reasons why list. Well, Will, how do I pick which 4 things I need to have on my list? I'll give y'all a tip. You got a list of 20. I want you to run down a little column along the side of it. We've done this before. We'll do it again. A little column goes straight down the paper, and it's 2 numbers. It's 0 to 10. The first number next to your 20 reasons why, your goal sheet, what you want to achieve by being in this business, the place you want to live, the money you want to make, have all of these specific goals. There's 20 of them. We already covered them already, but I'm going to make you understand it in the terms of puzzle piece number 40, which is the law of averages. If you're trying to figure out which of your goals should be the ones that you write down on a separate sheet of paper, and where should those little pieces of paper be kept? Let me see who's been paying attention. Where, if you have your list of 20 reasons why, you should write down the top 4 on an index card or a sticky note. Where should they be? Okay, yep, one in your wallet, on your mirror in the bathroom, yep. On your phone, yep. In your car, bathroom mirror, yes. All of those places. You want to see this stuff all the time, okay? Now, thank you. Kara had all 4s, perfect. All right, Lori, right back there, we got it. When you look at that category, each of those should have a number next to it, 1 through 20, but there's a number next to it, should be 0 to 10. How excited are you about achieving it? How excited are you about achieving it? If it don't make you feel like a 7, 8, 9, or 10, it's not going to be one of your top 4s. Not yet. And then the next column next to that is going to be 0 to 10. And that next column of numbers is going to be the level of your belief that you could achieve it within the next 6 to 12 months. Do not worry about the how. Don't worry about the how. Let God sort that out. You focus on, do you have the belief that you can actually have it? If you have the belief that you can have it, and that's at an 8, 9, probably a 9 or a 10, and you have that it really, really excites you at an 8 or 9 or a 10, some things are going to pop out. That's going to be your 4. The thing that excites you the most, that you really have a belief that you could have it, even if you don't know how. The how is irrelevant. All right? The how is irrelevant, okay? Now, how does that make sense with puzzle piece number 40? Because everything on that list, it is tied to the number of people you talk to about the business. Every time you talk to a person about the business, you are one person closer to the individual or individuals that will explode your organization. It's rarely who you know, it's typically who they know, which is why launching a business is very important for new members. My number in this industry is about 600 people. And I know that about 400 of those people are going to tell me no. If I ever join a company, okay, all I have to do, good night, hey, baby Izzy's on there, good night. Got little babies that be on our calls with William. We love that. We love that. They're getting in, like, saturated with their mind with success principles young. That's important. They don't have to understand the words. Just let them hear the speakerphone. When I talk to 600 people, 400 of them are going to say, no, I'm okay with that. Because out of that 200, I know that the raw material is there. I know that the raw material is there 70% of them are going to quit. But the ones who are left will make me minimum hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, millions over time, millions a year over time guaranteed. I know that because I've been doing this so long. Everybody has a number. So I'm not really upset if someone tells me no. I just scratch them off the list. Okay, good deal. You have to know what your number is. You won't know it till you hit it. That's the catch. But I promise you, you already have a number. But if you're not at the level of success that you want to be at, you haven't hit the number yet. Okay? You have to keep going until you hit the number of people talked to. And once you've talked to a certain number of people, you will finally know your number. But that's the catch. Ain't no such thing as a free lunch. I had to put in the work to even learn what my number was. But once I learned it, I have a peace of mind that nobody can take away, okay? So that's puzzle piece number 40, the law of averages. You talk to 10 people, the next 10 people you talk to, you'll get a better result because you're better. If you talk to 50 people, you'll be worse with the first 10. Because by the time you get to the 50th person, you'll have had so much practice, you'll be better. Does that make sense? You're a better basketball shooter at shot 10,000 than shot 100. Does that make sense? Put a 1 in the chat if that makes sense. Conceptually, you have to do these things. My Facebook posts now are better than they used to be. So I want to commend everybody here for just doing the work. You'll get better as you go. The only way you lose is if you quit. All right. Now let's get into the new stuff and we'll wrap it up. This recording is going to be a great tool for you. So now we're going to go through 41 through 45 very quickly. 41 through 45 puzzle pieces are taught in a block. They're taught in a block, and they're the 5 core beliefs. Number 41 is a belief in the business model of network marketing. Number 42 is belief in the company. Number 43 is belief in the products. Number 44 is belief in the pay plan. And number 45 is belief in yourself. That's the most important one. You have to watch videos and read books and get on these calls to understand a belief in the business model. Okay? Videos is the number one way I've seen to do it. To build a belief in a company, you need to be logging into your back office every day. And when your product comes in the mail on a subconscious level, you believe it now. This is a real company. It's not a scam. My product came in the mail. Yay. This is a subconscious belief. Third, belief in the product. What you got to do? You have to use the product. Okay? You have to use the product to build belief in the product. This is important. All right? Number 44, build belief in the pay plan. You got to get paid. You got to get paid. There's no ifs, ands, and buts about it. You got to get that first commission check. You got to go ahead and click withdraw and get that deposit in your bank account. You got to get that little white prepaid pay quicker card and go use it on some groceries. Your belief goes from here to here. Okay, period. All right. Last but not least, you got to believe in yourself. And ladies and gentlemen, that is a path that we all go on as individuals, as men and women and children. We go through this path ourselves, and you're going to build your belief in yourself by doing the work, getting the results. It's going to build the confidence. Number 43 was belief in the product. You got to use the product. Ain't no other way around it. And then being around people who are confident and successful in this business is going to help you become more successful and confident in this business. Just kind of rubbing elbows with people that are good. Number 42 was belief in the company. Puzzle piece number 42 is it's your job to build the belief in the company. Number 43, it's your job to build your belief in the product. Number 41, it's your job to build the belief and understanding in the business model of network marketing. Okay, number 44, it's your job to build your belief in the pay plan. And number 45, it's your job to build your belief in yourself. Without these core beliefs, you'll make a little bit of money, have a little bit of success. It'll always fall apart after 3 or 4 months. You gotta have belief in this business model, the company, the product, the money, and yourself, right? We'll finish up with 46 through 50. Yep, we're just about out of time, but we're gonna run long. Are y'all, let me ask this. Are you sure y'all are okay with running long? I can cover this another day. Put a 1 in the chat. We'll let the masses decide. Put a 1 in the chat if you want to wrap it up at piece 50. I'm gonna give you 5 more. Okay, good deal. All right, let's wrap it up. Okay, number 46. These are all gonna be mindsets here. Okay, number 46. Who do you listen to and why? Okay, number 46. Who do you listen to? Now I'm gonna tell you, this is important because anytime you hear a speaker or a coach or an author, you need to ask yourself, who is this person and why should I be listening to him? Because your time is the most valuable thing you have. It would be so terrible if I had no idea what I was talking about, if I couldn't get you any results, and I'm just talking, wasting an hour of your time, okay? There are certain books by certain people, and the people have no idea what they're talking about. They sound like they know what they're talking about, but did you know that a lot of people don't even write their own books on success? Very few ultra wealthy people who've written books on success have actually written a book. They don't even read the book. They don't have time to write books. I've written books before. It takes a long time. A lot of these people will hire writers to interview them for like an hour, and then they'll write the book for the person, and the rich person is on the cover and they sell the book. Okay? That is not the best way to learn. If you're curious about a particular book, we have a list of over 20 success books that you can and should read. A lot of these other ones, a lot of these other YouTube channels, they're waste of your time, but you don't know that because you don't know the story behind the person. Okay? I'll give you 2 quick examples and we'll move on to number 47, all right? Dave Ramsey, love Dave Ramsey to death. He teaches something called saving your way to wealth. Don't get Starbucks, save up, don't go to the movies, save up, pay off a credit card. He did not get wealthy doing any of that. He got wealthy by putting that idea, that theory into a book, and the book and the seminar made him wealthy. Nobody who's a millionaire ever said, I became a millionaire because of Dave Ramsey. You've never heard it said, it'll never be said because it's not true. If it is, I'm gonna tell you it's not true. They're just lying to you, okay? Which is what they do to sell books. And I get that. But at the same time, this is a lot of network marketing coaches. I saw a guy who said on his Facebook bio, he said, I want to help, I help people make $10,000 a month in network marketing. Person's never done it one time. Never done it. Not even one time, 1 month, much less to teach, but that is all the time. So you got to ask yourself, and it's no shame to ask this. Who is this person? What is their track record? How much money have they made? And more importantly, how many people have they sponsored or directly mentored and coached who got that type of success and those results? Okay, in that particular opportunity. You just got to think about that. I'm very proud of the fact that I have 20 and growing of people I've either personally sponsored or directly coached because their sponsors quit or whatever. Very excited about that. The fact that I have people like that who've made multiple 6-figure incomes with these companies. That's important for me because I know that if I teach you, you get the same results they got. And they're white, black, young, old, men, women, English speakers, non-English speakers, Canadian, Taiwanese, and everywhere else. I know that the stuff I'm teaching you works. That's not to brag. That's not to boast. It's to simply let you feel comfortable and safe that if you learn these puzzle pieces, you learn how to put this thing together with the franchise factor, and you put in the work, you cannot possibly lose. The only way you lose is when you quit. So that's number 46. Who do you listen to and why? It don't have to be me, but you better pick somebody else and you better vet them clearly. They got the results you want, and they got people they personally worked with, met, helped, and groomed and grew into top earners as well. If they don't have that, I would probably find someone different in your upline organization until that time. Now, I'm not saying you can't listen to your coaches, but your coaches should always have coaches. So Seymour Greenwich Blake and Charlotte Whitaker are 2 of the people I think are going to be 6-figure earners in 2024, for sure. They're learning from myself. They're learning from Coach Marcus, learning from Coach Sonic. So you can trust and listen to people like that because they're plugged in and we're all teaching the same thing. Okay, I was in Dallas with Miriam Karim. I was in Dallas with $250,000 earner Melissa Brower. and these individuals in Seymour, Greenwich, Blake, and Dallas, I don't even have to be there. I know when they have a meeting and they teach stuff, it is 99% the same thing that we all teach. Okay, so with this company, with this team, you're very, very lucky that you don't have to work with us directly. You'll still get results because we're very, very strict about what we're teaching, because we only want our teams teaching what works. That's the best we can do to make sure that you and your families have the best chance at winning big in this industry. Number 47 is going to be called the Teachability Index. When you join a company, you often hear this phrase, you got to be coachable and teachable. You hear that a lot. You got to be coachable and teachable. When you hear that, what that means is the Teachability Index is either high or low. Okay? And it's two numbers, 0 to 10. The first number is your desire to learn or your willingness to learn. What is your willingness to learn on a scale of 0 to 10? Put it in the chat. You know you don't have all the answers, but put in the chat once you finish writing your notes, what is your willingness to learn this information that will get you to the next level in your business? It needs to be at least an 8, a 9, or a 10. Any lower than that, and you probably won't win this year. Okay, you're just not ready yet. Your teachability index is going to be too low. For other people, here's the next one that's tough, because most people do have a very high willingness and desire to learn. It's pretty common for everybody to be 9 and 10, but that's only 1/2 of the teachability index. You have to multiply your first number, let's say 10. You have to multiply it, okay, times another number. And that second number, we're still on puzzle piece number 47 right now. We're going to stop tonight at 50. Puzzle piece number 47, the second number is your willingness to change. Your willingness to change. Now, I hate to tell you, I know a lot of people who have a 10 desire to learn and a full willingness to change. They just won't do it. They're like, no, I'm not doing it. No, I'm not going to events. I know, I'm sorry. I'm not using my vacation time at work to come to no event. I'm not driving no 8 hours. I'm not doing it. I got to be home with my family. I'm sorry. And guess what? That's cool. But don't get mad at me when you don't have the results you want by the end of the year. Don't get upset with me. I can only tell people the truth. I can only tell people what I know works. You can guess and you can roll those dice. But here's the thing. I cannot name. We got so many six-figure earners at HBN now. And we got them coming to go to sign. There's only one I can even think of that's a six-figure earner that's never been to an event. I can only think of one. And nobody's ever met this person in person. Ever. Nobody's ever met them. They are a 3%er of the highest caliber. I've never seen anything like it. Zero duplication. They do great. They don't have a single person on their team that made $1. Not one. They are the most unduplicatable person I have ever seen. And they are perfectly happy and fine with that. They could be laundering money. This is also true. That's very possible. But I've never seen it at this level. Other than that, everybody's been to the event. Okay? When it comes down to your willingness to learn and your willingness to change, it is what it is, man. Like I don't know. We had a young lady who's a six-figure earner at HBM. And she'll be a six-figure earner that go to sign up probably this year. But she's made over 100,000, and she's got people on her team who's made over 100,000. And this young lady's son is severely handicapped. I mean, very, very, very hurt. You know, very, very handicapped. She was at $25,000 or so. She said, "You know what? I got to get to 100,000 because this is what my family needs." True story. I met her multiple times. She somehow found a way to get her daughter, her mom, her handicapped son, and I mean, he can't walk on his own. He's wheelchair. And he's young. He's a child. Cross country in a van and brought her mom so she could care for her son while she was in the event taking notes, learning. And I kid you not, the next year, she went over $150,000. I don't care what excuses you think you have. They were going to sleep in the van, by the way. I paid for their Airbnb. It's the first time I'm ever saying this publicly. I paid for their Airbnb. I wasn't going to let it happen. I saw the desire. I saw the need. And Y'all have, a lot of y'all have met her at events. It is what it is. But that's how that 150,000 came into play. And it made all the difference in the world. Like it or not, I don't care. To tell a story, that's the truth. I was there. I got the Airbnb receipts. Yep, Marcus knows it. All right, so that's the point, y'all. Desire to learn is nothing without the willingness to change. I knew a guy who couldn't do his auto ship. He was like, man, I want to make 5,000 a month. I said, you got to be at about 100 BV per month to do that. He said, I can't afford that. I said, how many packs of cigarettes you smoking a day? He said, 2. I said, bro, you might only, I'm not telling you quit smoking. That's your personal decision. I'm telling you might need to cut back to 1, because I know I don't smoke, never smoked a cigarette a day in my life. But I know how much they cost, because I hear people complain about it all the time at gas stations. Oh my God, that's what I hear. So, and I'm not down on nobody who smokes cigarettes. I'm just telling you. He had to get back to 1 a day, 1 pack a day. All right. And then he was able to afford his auto ship. And when the COVID thing happened and he was getting laid off from his job, he called me and said, man, I want to thank you so much for making sure that I took this business seriously and made the money, because at my job, they told me I either got to get the vaccine jab shot, which I don't want to do, or they're going to lay me off. And he said, I'm not getting that shot because I don't like needles or vaccines or nothing. And he didn't take the shot, but he said, man, I'm able to live and pay these bills until I figure out another full-time gig because of the money coming in. So thank you for that. It wasn't no $1 billion or nothing, but it was enough to keep his head above water while he went and found another job while he builds his business. So willingness to change is very important. And I'm sorry if you're not at a place in your life when you're ready to change. I get it. But it is something that is, I wish it was different. I wish it was different for you, but it's not. And I'm sorry, that's the truth. You got to be on these Zooms. You got to read the books, and you got to talk. Well, I don't want to talk to my friends or family. I'm sorry, you don't have a choice. I didn't say they had to sign up. I said you have to share products you believe in with people that you care about. I don't care if they tell you yes or no. These are the things it really takes. You ever see a network marketing thing that says, no meetings, no talking to friends or family, no books, no videos, no education, just join and make a bunch of money? You better run. You better run, because that's either a whole lie or a double lie. A whole lie would be if you join and all of that stuff, if you don't do it, you'll make no money. A double lie is if you join and then you find out you got to do all that stuff. I thought you told me there wasn't no meetings, but you got to be on a Zoom or a Facebook Live 17 times a week. That's the meeting. I'm just in my house. That's like me working from home, but saying I don't have a job. Some jobs you get to work from home now. You still got a job. You understand? So there ain't no such thing as a free, Sydney done beat me to it. Ain't no such thing as a free lunch. All right. Now we'll move on from teachability index. Put a 1 in the chat if you understand. You have to multiply those numbers. And if you don't get at least an 81 or above, you're not ready. You're not ready. Okay? If it's not at least an 81, you are not ready yet. Okay? I'm sorry, but I got to give you the truth. I can't give you no lies out here because you won't make no money with that. All right? Next up, number 48. It ties into number 47. Number 48 is called the law of sacrifice. This is a law like the law of gravity. It never goes away. It never changes. It's never suspended. The law of sacrifice, I'll explain it to you very briefly, and we'll wrap up with the last 2. The law of sacrifice is this. We got anybody on here that love to golf? Any golfers? I'm not a golfer. We got any golfers? I'll put a 1 in the chat if you're a golfer. You like to golf. Put a 2 in the chat if you just like vacations in general. You just like to go to Hawaii, like vacations and travel. Okay, so right there. So we got the vacation folk. So William likes to golf and Lynn likes to take vacations. All right, just going to the islands. We're going to South Beach and they're going to Key Largo, Key West. We on the yachts. Now, here's the thing. You love doing these things because you've done them before. You've golfed and you've been on vacations. The law of sacrifice says this. If you want more of that, okay, you have to give up a little of that. It's just a seed. You give up a seed, you'll get a whole tree. So if you like to vacation and travel, and you want to be able to do that permanent like we do, I take I take once in a lifetime vacations like 12 times, 6 times a year, maybe 12. I have been on more luxurious, opulent vacations across the world than anybody I personally know. Okay. Why is this possible? Because I understood puzzle piece number 48, the law of sacrifice. When I realized I love to travel, I learned that when I'm going to do this business, I have to not travel where I want to go because I got to do meetings or be on a Zoom, or I have to travel to places I don't want to go to meetings or events to learn. And if I give up something that I like, which was flying economy. So I like flying economy to Orlando. I like that. But I love flying first class to Hawaii. And I've done both. Now, when I first started this business, I had to give up my little $100 round trip flights to Orlando when I stay in the motel closest to Disney World, closest I can get with a backpack. Couldn't even afford to bring the bags. I had to give up economy travel temporarily to gain first class travel permanently. The tree will always bear fruit, but you do have to give up the seed temporarily. Does that make sense? If you like making money and you want hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars, if you want to look up your bank balance and see 6 figures in the bank, and I don't recommend putting more than $100,000 in the bank. If you got more than $100,000 in the bank, go get a second bank or a different type of account because they're only going to guarantee your money up to 100 grand. All right. Don't learn that the hard way. So if you want to make a lot of money and you then listen, the love of money is the root of all evil. So I'm not talking about like idolizing money, but I love cold hard cash. I truly do. The things that you can do, the amount that you can tithe, the number of homeless people you can feed. I don't know if I posted this, but maybe once ever. Our teams here have fed over 100,000 homeless families in America alone since we've been here. I've personally fed over 77,000 homeless people with just money. I don't have to go there no more. I just go to the food bank and say, what food we need, give me a receipt, I'll cut the check, there you go. God sees it, I don't have to post it, okay? So money is not everything, but it's so important, especially if you want to help people. I mean, tell you, Coach Marcus is paying for kids' dental treatment. This is important. This is important. It's important to give, okay? But you can't pour from an empty cup, okay? So if you want to make a lot of money, listen to me clearly. If you like the $100 you have, you might want to sow that as a seed. I'm not just talking about your tithe, and you're not paying us. You might want to be on 50 or 100 BD auto ship because the law of sacrifice demands that you must give up a little of what you like temporarily to get what you really want permanently. If I was too cheap to ever trust Coach Marcus and say, all right, I'm doing 100 BV, I'm in it, and I'm never turning it off. I would sooner go get a second job. I would sooner go drive Uber. I would sooner go sell hammers at the flea market before I turn off my 100 BV auto ship. It will never happen. I have said this from my first day at this company, and I have said this and I've maintained it. I kept my word to Coach Marcus no matter what, because I knew that's the maximum amount I can spend. I sold a little bit of what I like, which is $100 bill. I like it. I sold it. And I reaped millions because I know the law of sacrifice. You like vacations? You like travel? Don't go where you want to go next time. You find yourself in Dallas, Texas, even if you don't like Texas. I personally don't care. And mark my words, couple months, couple years, whenever it is, you will travel wherever you want around the world. Spain, Italy, Greece, Turkey, been there, done that. I love them. I'll go to anyone I want. And I want you to go back to anyone you want to. But I can't lie to you and tell you that no sacrifice is involved. It's the same thing for your health. If you love your health, you will have, listen, when I leave the gym, I'm tired and I feel weak. I have to give. I have to give the health and the strength. I'm wheezing, I'm breathing all heavy. I have to give the strength that I have temporarily, just for a couple hours a week, to gain physical strength permanently as long as God let me walk this earth, just like he had Caleb and Joshua. I want to be just like Seymour and Troy Monroe. Troy Monroe might be 200 years old and we'll never know. We'll never know. But Troy Sacrifice is one of the hardest working men I know. Physically, you got to see the dude. You know what I mean? To really believe it. So that's the law of sacrifice. We could teach a whole class on that. We won't. Let's wrap this up. Number 49, the training balance scale. Write this down. Very important foundational principle. Training balance scale. I want you to imagine a scale. When I was first starting this business, I thought it was all about this side of the scale. So one side of the scale, you have things like talking to people. You have things like skills, how to invite, how to present, okay? Knowing about the products, product knowledge, knowing how to do the pay plan. All of that is on one side of this scale. On the other side of the scale, okay, is words like motivation. It's words like excitement. It's words like vibration and frequency, thought, prayer, belief, faith, non-tangible things. Things that you really think more than that you do. Okay, mindsets are over here on this side of the scale. On this side of the scale, it's all of the technical stuff. Will, teach me a script. Teach me how to do cold market. Teach me how to do a car magnet. Teach me what email to send to sign people up. How I do ads on the radio. How do I conduct a meeting? All of that's important. But on this side is the mental stuff, mindset, integrity, loyalty, forgiveness, motivation, influence, excitement, passion. This side of the scale, with all of those thought type words, is 99% of your success. You are what you think. When I first started, I didn't know there was a scale, so I wasn't very good. When I learned there was a scale, I thought it was 99% do the stuff I do, not what I think. As I did the business more, I came to understand it was like this 50-50 balance of, yeah, I got to learn stuff and understand. And these laws and these principles and these secrets, the subconscious mind, I need to be over here, but I also need to be working too. I need to be working. As you progress in this business, you start to understand it is the mindset. I know so many talented people that want to work hard and they're willing to work hard, but because they do not learn, they do not believe, they do not develop their belief, they have no faith, they're not prayerful, they're not spiritual. They just want to work hard and they think that it's all about hard work. The janitor makes less than the principal, but works 10 times as hard for 3 times as long. It is not about working harder so much as it is working smarter. And a lot of the mindsets, the concepts, there ain't no free lunch, all of this is on the side of the scale, which is thinking, belief, understanding, love, passion, integrity, loyalty, frequency, vibration, thought. All of that is 99% of it, and I wish it wasn't, but it is. The mental labor, the emotional stability is over here. You know how hard it is? I've seen people do all of this work and be good, but because they still have a little bit of a jealous spirit, they fail and they lose all of their money in the industry. You got to learn how to control your pride, your jealousy, your envy, your rage. Your forgiveness has to be on point. That is where 99% of the hardest work is. If you can just understand those biblical principles and apply them to business, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. You need to forgive your brother 70 times. If you just understood that, ye have not because ye ask not. Like, I pray that you prosper in all things, even as your soul prosper. If you understood that, you would have 99% of this game figured out. And the 1% that's the work, oh my gosh, it'll be so easy. People will be joining you and you won't even know how they found you or where they came from, and it won't matter. Okay? That's number 49. We'll talk about them more at a later date. Last but not least, all right, it's a long one tonight, but I hope this has been valuable for you. Put a 1 in the chat if this recording is going to be valuable for you and your team. Please let me know. Okay, last one. And this is a very, very important one for leaders. And in fact, we will probably stop the puzzle piece training here at 50, not only tonight, We'll finish the rest in Dallas. I will give you the next 50 in person in Dallas and then on Zooms after that. But this last one right here, I'm looking at it. You have enough, if you unpack this, to make six figures this year for sure. For sure. And any question you have about it, as soon as you wrap this call up, post it in the chat, and I'll stay on as long as needed. Everybody else can get off. I will stay on to answer as many questions as needed. So write down your questions. Let me give you puzzle piece number 50 right now. We'll wrap up this recording. This is a leadership technique. This is a self-evaluation method, which I teach frequently on occasion, but you need to learn it now and apply it to yourself so you can become truly empowered and truly independent, okay? I want you to write down these 5 letters. This is a self-evaluation technique for leaders and leaders in training only. If you're at 10BV and you're on a Zoom, but you're not really on a Zoom, you're playing video games, but you're on a Zoom, this is not for you. This is only for people who are committed to their success because of the life they want for them, their families, and their communities, okay? This is the 5 letters. The letter N as in November. The letter Q as in quality. S like Sierra. R as in Roger. And I, indigo, okay? NQSRI. Somebody's going to post that in the chat for sure. These are going to be 5 letters, which are going to be numerical representations, and you are going to multiply each number by the previous number. And this is a daily evaluation method, which I recommend a leader should do this once every 30 to 90 days. A leader should evaluate themselves every 30 to 90 days using this method. The N stands for number. The N, November, the N stands for the average number of exposures to the business or product that you personally do daily. Okay? That you personally do daily. The maximum is 10, 0 is the lowest. Okay? And this is look, you can lie to me, you can't lie to yourself. You know if you're not doing no exposures yet. And it's okay, maybe because you haven't learned how. Maybe that's a question you need to put in the chat after the recording. Well, how do I talk to people? Right? That's not a bad question. The second letter, so N is going to be a number. Okay, write that down because we're going to calculate your score. Just go with the first number pops in your mind about how many people not how many people you chit chat with, not social chit chat. How many people on a daily basis do you ask the question, Seymour, would you be willing to check out this video about a project I'm working on? I think it'll make a lot of money. No? Okay, no problem. I asked him to evaluate some information. He said no. That counts as 1. It's not hard. I didn't say they had to say yes and watch the video. I didn't say they had to join. I just said, are you asking people? And a Facebook post don't count. You just make a Facebook post, that's cool, but that's lazy. Maybe 1 or 2 people might respond to it, and that's great. But do you know you'd be more effective with the same Facebook post going to direct messenger for 50 of your friends or 30 of your friends? Did you know that? You would be half of y'all would be more successful if you took, I wish I had it on me. Did I write it down? No, I'm gonna post a script in the chat. It's a messenger script that I use that I could make it a post and it would do really good. And I might get 100, 200 people that like it. I might get 20 to 50 that respond. But I'm going to get thousands of responses if I send it via messenger every day to a new 10 or 20 people. Okay, so I have it, I don't have it in front of me, it's in my phone, my other phone. I'm going to post that because it is very, very, very slick and it's something you can post 10 times a day in the messenger, not a post. Don't be lazy, good God. Okay, so N stands for the number of exposures per day, all right? The next number, which is Q stands for the quality of the people, the quality of the people that you're talking to. I have tried to recruit the nighttime manager at Walgreens, and I have tried to recruit the mayor of Atlanta. The quality for me, I'll recruit almost anybody if I think they have integrity and work ethic and desire. Okay, so that could be a big scale. If you're talking to homeless people about recruit, that's probably a 0 or a 1. But if you're talking to doctors, lawyers, professional network marketers, teachers, that's the 9, 10 basketball coaches. You're up there, 8, 9s, and 10s. So understand the quality of the individual. God created everybody equal, but the quality of the individual is from a societal standpoint. Recruiting a college professor will get you more points than recruiting a 17-year-old with no job, quality-wise. So you got to figure out the quality, okay? The next up, S. S stands for skills. On a 0 to 10, how do you rate yourself in terms of skills? Are you good at prospecting? Are you good at finding people to talk to? Are you good at presenting? Are you good at inviting? Are you good at closing and handling objections? Are you good at social media? And for the record, I'm not saying don't not make social media posts about your business. You should, and your products. I'm just letting you know that the balance of that, the messenger feels more personal. Is it harder work for you? Yes. Will it make you more money? Yes. Does it make your prospects feel more special? Yes. Yes, 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 all across the board. So find the balance that works for you, but do both, not just one, all right? Most people don't even see your posts anyway because of the algorithm. So that's that, all right? So the S stands for skills, 0 to 10, and give yourself a real reflection of your skills and how well you know the products, how well you know the comp plan, and this, that, and the third. The next letter is the letter R. It's going to stand for rapport. And when I say rapport, I mean likability. Like, how likable are you? Do people like you as a person? Or when you go somewhere, do people face get in a frown when you come in the room? Oh man, that guy Will's here. I hate that guy. Or when you go places, are people happy to see you? On social media, do people typically engage with you on your posts happily? You getting at least 25 likes and comments on your posts at least? Or you getting 1 like because people don't care to look at your stuff anyway. You get 2 likes, nobody cares. I'm not saying you're not a fun, awesome person. Rapport and likability is objective. I'm not talking about subjective. I'm not talking about what you think about you, what your spouse think about you, or what God think about you. I'm talking about what the masses think about you on average. Do people respect you? Do they like you? That matters in this business. Okay, 0 to 10. Be real with yourself, okay? And then last but not least, the letter I stands for image. This is going to be subjective. This is what you think about you. This is how much you believe that you can win. This is about how much you believe that you deserve $1 million. This is how much you believe that you can lead people's teams from 200 people to 5,000 people and this, that, and the third. This is about you and what you believe about you, 0 to 10, okay? Now, if you got those 5 numbers down, let me tell you what the maximum score is. The maximum score is 10 times 10 times 10 times 10 times 10, which is 100,000. I have done this exercise with me and multi-million-dollar earners and even a billionaire in network marketing, total commissions and investments that I've done this with, and nobody has ever been 100,000. I talked to Big Al. Big Al is not he said, man, I'm not even a perfect score. And that's him being honest. We in person having these conversations. I'm going to tell you what my numbers are personally, and that'll give you a little bit of frame of reference, and I'm going to tell you my score. Now, before I do that, here's an average score. 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 times 5. That's an average score, and that's going to be 3,125. That is an average network marketer if they're being honest. 3,125 is an average score. Okay, 100,000 is a maximum score. All right, Will, how come we just don't do addition? Because if you're a 0 in any one of these areas, 0 times anything is 0. If any one of these is 0, everything's 0. If you do adding, you could be at a 0 for how many people you talk to, and at a 10, 10, 10, 10, and be mad you're not making the money. Will, I'm a 40. That's good. The max score is 50. How am I making no money? Because you got a 0 somewhere. So when we do multiplication, you understand how powerful 0 is. Okay, and I'm gonna give you my numbers. This is my real numbers. Today was my day to do it again. I haven't done it since last year. These are my numbers today. Okay, how many people I talk to a day on average? 5, not 10, not 20. Me on average, 5. 1 or 2 in person and 3 online every single day. 1 or 2 in person, 3 online every single day. That's me because I have an active life. I move around, I do things, I know how to talk to people. Okay, could be 5 online or 10, but it's not. My honest number, me, 5. Okay. For the quality of people I talk to a lot of top tier people, a lot of business owners, a lot of people with money, but I talk to a lot of broke college kids too. I talk to a lot of people who I know the second I ask them about the business, they're 70%ers and it hurts my heart. I want to save them so bad, but I know they're 70%ers. I know it, and eventually they're going to learn it the hard way when they die broke. Okay? I'm not wishing that on them. I'm talking about what the statistics say. Just because Jesus said the poor will always be among you, he wasn't happy about it, but he was making a statement about reality because everybody got free will. Okay? So my quality of people I talk to is a 5. It's right in the middle. I talk to some 1s and some 10s. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Some 0s and some 10s. My people I talk to average people because I talk to highs and lows and everybody in between. That's just me. I don't really discriminate a lot when I'm evaluating if they're open. Now, once we start talking, I float to my next one, which is skills. Now, for skills, I'm at a 9. Okay, 2 years ago, I was at an 8. I've learned so much. I'm always learning, always reading, always going to events and seminars, even if they're not mine, because I have mentors, plural. I have multiple mentors. Okay. Now, in network marketing, I don't have a lot. You can have a bunch of mentors in other parts of life, but in network marketing, I got 2. I have a skills mentor and I have a business strategy mentor. And I talk to Alexandria every once or two. She's my product coach. That's everything I learned about products comes from that young lady on the phone, period. Okay. So when I look at skills at this point in my career, I'm at a 9. I'm literally writing books on network marketing. This is fair. However, there are some aspects of skills, over 25 skills. They got 2 or 3 of them I could really work on, and I'm actively learning those now. I just downloaded 17 new books on my Kindle to learn 2 skills. I just downloaded 17 new books. I might not get them finished to the end of the year. I might not get them read to the end of the year or later, but I am committed to learning. Education is required. So my skills for me is a 9. I don't know where that puts you. Okay. Next up is rapport. Now my rapport I put as a 9. Now why is it not a 10? Will everybody love your Facebook post because I got haters just like you got haters. I got people that are jealous of me. I have people I've done wrong in life that never forgave me, and that's okay because they've got people that have done me wrong and I forgive them. It's what it is. I don't know of anybody who is perfect in the eyes of everybody other than like your celebrity type people. And even they got some haters. If everybody love you and everybody like you, you're probably not doing much. If every single person, you either don't know any people or you're not accomplishing enough to make people jealous or upset or envious or angry or feel like you left them behind or nothing like that, okay? So for rapport, I give myself a 9 just because this is a weird social media world and I'm a pretty likable guy. That's what it is. But I got haters, but they don't outweigh the people who love me, the people I love, my family, my friends, my teams who I care about. They don't even hold a candle to them. And I know that because if I call and ask somebody for a favor, they're going to do it. If I call and say, hey, man, I fell on hard times. I need $1,000. He's going to be like, man, I got to put it on the credit card, but you can have it. I know you're good for it. I know you'll pay it back. And in fact, I probably owe you something anyway. If Seymour calls people, I had a conversation with Seymour. I'm not going to talk what it was about. If Seymour called people, they are coming to his aid, if he even needed anybody, which he don't. But if he did, they are coming to his aid with no question. His likability and his respect is here in his community, in his friends, and his fraternal organizations. I know that. Okay. The last one, so for me, it's a 9. It is what it is. You figure out what it is for you, and your social media like rate is not a bad barometer for that. People even fooling with you? We don't know. Last but not least is going to be your self-image. This is the most important one. For my self-image, it's a 9. Last year, it was an 8. It's gone up. My confidence in what I teach and how I operate went up when I started sponsoring. I started seeing more and more people I sponsored that were hitting over 100,000, over 100,000, over 100,000, 200,000, 500,000. My confidence in my ability went from an 8 to a 9. I'm not just a good player, I'm a really good coach, but it's not a 10 because I'm still working on myself. I still deal with doubt. I still wonder if I'm making the right decision sometimes. It is what it is. This is me being transparent, honest. And you got to be transparent, honest with yourself. So when you take my real score that could go up or down in the next 90 days, okay? My numbers are 5 times 5 times 9 times 9 times 9, and that gives me 18,225, okay? Now, I want my numbers to go up next year, so I'm going to look at my lowest numbers, which are the number of people I talk to per day and the quality of those people, and I'm going to increase one of those numbers by 1. And that number is not going to be the quality of people. I'm not going to put a funnel on it like that, okay? And if you put down your numbers and your score, write it down or screenshot it like Linda just did, so you know your score. What I'm going to do, I'm going to take the number of people I talk to per day, and I'm going to just go from 5 to 6. I can do that. I'm going to just go from 5 to 6, and then I'll work on something else later this year, okay? So find your lowest number and get it up by 1. And that's going to help your score across the board. It's the number one way that I know to have leaders evaluate themselves and tell themselves what to do to get better faster. You now have all the tools and resources you need to be successful. Everything you're doing for the next 2 months until Dallas, and even after that, you just need to be unpacking what parts of this. So if you were to tell me, Will, I'm not good at network marketing, I'm going to ask for your list of the first 50 pieces of the puzzle, and I'm going to say, great, let's figure out what part you're not good at. Is it recruiting? Is it retailing? Is it duplication? Is it learning? Is it closing? Everything's in there somewhere. And it's our job to unpack it for you. But you got to want it and want to be better, all right? So we'll stop the recording right now, and we'll take any questions that we have. I don't know, does the recording